Ernest Holmes said the greatest secret of life is that there is a power for good in the universe, greater than we are, and we can use it. Now I'm going to break that down just a little bit. There's a power for good in the universe doesn't mean a power that's good, just good for me and not for you. It means there's a power for good in the universe that's good for everyone. Because when you and I tap into our goodness, what's really, really, really good for us, it has to be good for everyone. Because that's how this goodness is made. So there's a power for good in the universe, greater than we are. It's much greater than we are, but also we're a part of it. Because everything is part of this divine, invisible pattern for good. We're all a part of it. So we're part of it, but it's bigger than we are. And we can use it. Which means this power for good is always there for us, because there's no place it's not. But we need to use it. It doesn't force itself on us. It cannot reject us. It's always there for us. But we must use it. It's a quiet, small voice. You must make the space to listen, to be available, and to be the receptive vehicle for it to express. In fact, I believe that's why we're here in this human incarnation, to be an original, creative outlet for spirit. Do you like that? Me too. Me too. I want you to think, how do you use this power? I mean, because we all have it in us, around us, through us, we get to decide how much of it we're going to use. It's there for us all the time. This spiritual power isn't just for some people. It's for everybody always. It's there for us. We need to hone and tune our lives to be in sync with this power for good, because we are the generators of this power. We get to decide how much we're going to use. And I want you to think, and thank you, Virginia, for that reading this morning. We are the generators of the power, and the power is in our thoughts, our conscious thought, because spirit is there for us, and it responds to us through this law of cause and effect, the law of reciprocity, law of correspondence, all those immutable laws. It responds to us according to the level of our consciousness, how awake and aware we are. Now, we have conscious thoughts that are creative, and those are the most powerful things we have. The thoughts, but what fuels our thoughts are our beliefs, or our feelings, which are fueled by our beliefs. So we're a whole composite of our conscious thought, our subconscious thought, and when we're getting back at our life what we really don't want, we need to really be looking at what do we hold in our subconsciousness that's all of our past experience, our past beliefs, our the things we've grabbed onto from race-conscious beliefs, and we may want to adjust some of those. Now I want to tell you a story this morning about a woman who really used this power for good. And as I said, when we really tap into our goodness, we can't help but affect other people. So this is a story, a true story, of Ella Mae Colbert. And Ella Mae had her 100th birthday about a week and a half ago. And last Tuesday, she entered a race. And it was a 100-meter race. And she actually broke the world record in her age bracket. Isn't that phenomenal? Good old Ella. She did it. But I want to tell you what happened to Ella. When she was at a middle school in South Carolina. She was a retired school teacher, and she had a lot of her former students there and a big family and friends there. And she went to run, and as she got off the starting line, she fell on her face. Ella got up. She got a Band-Aid because she knew the power of the body knew how to heal. She put her Band-Aid on. She got back on the starting line, and she raced and broke that record. And she said, you know what? Do not stop. You will have trials and tribulations in your life. They will get you down. At times you'll fall. But you got to get right back up again. You got to get up and keep on keeping on. She was plugged into the power. She really wanted to win this race. And when she was asked, well, how did you win this race? She said, well, you know, it's God's goodness. And I've been running since high school. And I continue to run 3 miles every day I can. she used the power. We can set our intention that we want to win a race, do something, but we've got to do our part and be in partnership with this divine goodness that's already there. When we generate that power, we have to do our part to make it work. The power is there for all of us. It doesn't care who we are, but it's there for us to use. And as I said, it will never force itself on us. It's available to us, so we have to be open and receptive to it. And as we talked about, I had to get my power turned on this morning. We'd have to turn that power on with a conscious decision, a conscious choice to make it work. And if we're plugging that power into a source of neediness, of poverty, of failure, of not enoughness, that's just what we're going to get back. Because the universe returns to us that which we give it. And so we have to be really aware of what we are plugged into. If we're plugged into world opinions, egads, that can cause a lot of misery. We need to be sure that we tap into the invisible source of goodness, which means we need to expand our faith. We have to have faith in things we cannot see, but we know are there. We have to have faith, because this power, the use of this power, is teachable and learnable. Ernest Holmes says, teach, practice, practice, teach. Did you get the practice, practice, practice part? Ella said she runs 3 miles, as much as she can, with her nieces and nephews every week, which is usually about 3 times a week. Do your part. This is learnable and teachable, but it really takes a faith in something greater. So I have a little test for you. You know, how many of you right now in your life have either a test, a responsibility, a choice to make, a decision? Oh, come on. We can't live a choiceless life. We just heard that from Virginia. Of course, we all do. So we have a little test to do, and no matter how big that decision is, we have to decide how we're going to show up for it. So we have some questions to ask, because again, remember, it's about taking time and not just rushing into things. I talked last week about the speed of the mind. The mind goes really fast and wants to answer all things and be in this fast mode, but the speed of the heart is much slower. And so before we answer the decision, make the choice, we need to breathe in and ask the questions. Do I have faith in a power greater than I am? Because sometimes we run up to a decision and think we're in it all alone. We have to do this by ourselves. So do we have faith in a power greater than we are?
Yes.
Okay, good. And do we believe that power greater than we are is something we can use?
Yes.
Okay, good. Perfect. So far, out of 4, you got 2 right. That's really good. So this third one might be a little bit harder, because I'm just going to say, this power for good that we can use comes from a law of infinite possibility. So you see, every time we plant a garden, we're using this power for good. Now, I don't know how to make an oak tree, nor do I know how to make a tulip or a carrot. But I know that this power greater than I am knows how. So when we plant a garden, we can choose what we want to grow, and we nurture it and give it what it needs. And that's what we do in this universal law of good. We plant what we want. Now, if you don't know what you want and just give it, what are you going to get? Yeah. So we have to be clear on what we want. We'll talk about that in a minute. But do you believe in the law of infinite, limitless possibilities?
Yes.
That was a little lower, but it was still good. It was still good. So we need to work on that, because we don't always get what we want, but we get what we need. We don't get what we need, so we need to plant into this universal law of goodness. We need to plant what we want, in limitless possibility for health, abundance, love, creative expression, spiritual connection, whatever it is. We need to plant into this limitless possibility a garden of seed ideas of goodness. And then last but not least, and this may be the hardest one, I don't know.
So there's a power for good, we can use it. The law of limitless possibilities, there's possibilities everywhere that we can't even imagine. And do we have faith in the certainty of its demonstration and manifestation?
Yes.
I told you that was the hardest. Because we can do all this and go, oh, I don't know if that's really going to happen. Because there's God's time and our time. It doesn't always happen the time we want, but it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It doesn't mean it'll happen exactly how we want it, but it will happen if we believe in the law of manifestation. So we need to do our part. We need to show up. This is here, but we need to use this power for good in our life. We need to keep using it. So how many of you are ready? You're willing to take the test? When you have questions, can you really test your faith? Because the more faith we have, the more wonderful and joyous our life will be. Ernest Holmes said, we're born to be happy. Woo-hoo! We're born to be happy. I love that part. And be supplied with every good thing. Again, not everything we want, but every good thing. To have fun in living. And to consciously unite with the divine power. And continue to grow and evolve forever and ever. And that leads me to my next point. Always do your best. Now I'm going to ask you another question. How many of you really love change? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Change is a harder thing, but there's something that Buddha called the law of impermanence, which means life is always changing. Life is always changing. So if we don't really like change, remember we're supposed to be happy and have fun. We better start to get to like change because life is always changing. My question is, are you? Because if we want to be part of this beautiful evolutionary process of life, if we want to keep our power on, we better be willing to change and grow and grow. If we're not ready to, rather if we're maybe reluctant to up-level our lives, our positions, if we're really reluctant to do what it's going to take to better ourselves and upgrade, like our theme is this month, our life, where are we going to be a year from now? Exactly where we are right now. I don't know, but I don't think that sounds too good. I want to keep growing and moving. So we have to be willing to not be reluctant to change, but to work with this law of impermanence. Because we may think we wake up the same person every day. No way. We're different all the time. Our bodies, our lives, our emotions, the world around us changing all the time. And we have to be willing to work with it. So the other part of that, we have to be willing to work with life and be present in the current moment. This means not attached to the past, not attached to the future, not that we can't think about them, but not stuck there. We have to be in the moment, working with what's here with us in this moment. And remember that asking and receiving, we need to be open and receptive to the power of good that's right here. But we must be right now also willing to ask for what we want. Asking and receiving are part of the same law of cause and effect, the law of reciprocity, the law of correspondence. We have to be willing to do both. It's not either or, both and. So here's this power for good in the universe. And you and I need to make demands on that law. We need to ask for what we want right now. What is it we really want in this moment? Remember, as we expand and use this law for our good, we can't help but making the world a better place. Can't help it. Because our goodness, our joy, our happiness, our fulfillment absolutely 100% fulfills life around us. So making the demands on life, what is it I really want? And then willing to do what needs to be done. Yes, we need faith, but faith without works is dead. It's like wishing. We got to put legs on it, turn our power on, and be willing to do what it takes. And the universe is always there guiding and directing through our thoughts and contribution, through the thoughts and inspirations and insights. We have 3 words that we use. It's on our website and on our business cards. We have inspire, create, embrace. If we're going to turn the power on, it's about getting inspired. And then what am I called to do? What's calling to be done? What is here for me to create? and then embrace what we do and start over again, keeping that cycle of good. One of the greatest teachers, of course, who knew about this power and knew how to use the power, the great teacher, Jesus, he taught his disciples about the two most important commandments, was love God, whatever you call God, life, creative intelligence. Love God with all your heart, your soul. Love it with your whole self. And love each other. And love is that creative healing power in the universe. He also taught his disciples that the kingdom of heaven is within. King Kirk, the kingdom of heaven is within. And it's not something we have to go seek. So when we're talking about this power for good in the universe greater than we are, it's also a part of us. And when we look for the power, it's within us right now. And this power is holy, and it's sacred, and it's beautiful. When the disciples asked Jesus just to do one thing, they said to him, teach us to pray. And when they asked this one question, teach us to pray, Jesus said, then pray like this. And he said the Lord's Prayer. I want you to feel that place within. When he said, Our Father, which art in heaven. And he'd already taught his disciples that heaven was within. Our Father, God, Spirit, love, is within. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed, sacred, holy be thy name. So I want you to feel right now. Our Father, which art in So feeling that Holy Spirit, feeling that sacred presence within us. The prayer goes on to say, your kingdom come, thy will be done, and God's Spirit love's will for us is always good. So if we tap into that place within us, that holy sacred place within, goodness is there. The power for good is there right now. On earth, as it is in spirit, right here. And the prayer went on to say, give us our daily bread. Let our needs be met, because we are open. Our needs are always met if we are open and receptive to that power and presence right here. Give us our daily bread. Let our needs be met. And let us forgive, because understanding, forgive us for our debts. Forgive us for the mistakes we've made. We all make mistakes. It's on the learning process as we forgive those who have made mistakes to us. We have to forgive. If we want this world to be good and to be very good, we have to be in that cycle of healing, of loving, of caring for one another. And just guide us, direct us to our goal for goodness, that we don't fall off, that we don't live evil, that we don't use this power for things that don't bring good to us and good to the world. Just guide us, direct us. It's there. This beautiful Lord's Prayer is the most spoken prayer throughout the world. Billions of people speak this prayer about the goodness, the holiness that's within us, that our needs are met right now. This power is here for us to do good. So here, as we have our Prayer Wall Sunday, my request to us right now is to really get clear on what we want. What will we use this power for good for? And we don't come to our prayer wall with neediness.
with limitation, with lack, we come to our prayer wall powered up and say, I'm ready to use this power for health, abundance, love, healing, joy, fun, possibility, goodness, whatever it is. But when you come, I'm going to invite our ministers and our practitioners to create a beautiful wall here, a wall of prayer, a wall of love, as you come up here now. And just know that we've already established in our beautiful science of mind, we have a 5-step prayer. We say God is, and we always establish that God is good always. God is holy always, there for us. And we say that we are one with God. It's right here in us. So when you come up to speak your prayer, simply say, I'm willing, I choose to use the power for, and then say what you want. And our beautiful practitioners and ministers here know to speak the truth for you and simply say, I know, because we speak affirmative prayer into this infinite law of mind that only returns to us that which it is given. So please come forward. Please come forward with your prayer and let our beautiful ministers and practitioners pray. They love to keep it short because our prayers are short and potent and possible, because we live right now with this energy of infinite possibility. Oh, and our prayers are coming to a close. Simply release, if you've been at your seats, just release your prayer to this infinite mind of good, this infinite mind of God, the power that only knows to say yes and respond to the love and goodness that we share. And may I invite you to expand this also, because we cannot possibly keep which we don't give away, that which we do not give away. So any prayer you have said for yourself, please bless others with the same prayer. Please send your prayer out in the world to bless, ignite, and empower others with the same gift that you have shared today. Because the things that we give away from an overflow of our abundance is truly the thing that we keep in our own lives. And my prayer, which I invite all of us to share in right now, is I know right here, the InSpirit community right now is a beautiful place, a place of love, a place of possibility, and we have what we need with each other and beyond these walls. And I simply invite us in this moment to see this teaching, healing community expanding and growing, that our seats are filled and we are part of the good that's happening in this world. I know that it's a possibility that's waiting to be born, and I see it done right now. And as we give the gift that we are, as we share the prayer that we say for ourselves with others, we can't help but making this world a more beautiful place. And as you've spoken your prayer to the beautiful practitioner minister that's here to know the truth with you, I simply invite you when you leave today to do what calls to be done. Because as you've said your prayer, you will be ignited with knowing the path to take, the steps that need to be taken. Because we have to fight for what's good and right and true. We have to turn our power on even when it's hard to do. We have to get up even when the times are tough and know there's something more waiting for us. We're ready. Are you ready to fight the fight? The fight for good, the fight for love, the fight for each other, the fight for community, because I am too. And I see within each and every one of you here today, I see that power of goodness, that love, that spark of spirit. That's not just good for you, it's not just good for our InSpirit community, but that spark that is the spark that our world needs now, that ignites us on this path and place of creating truly a world that comes together in love and light and goodness. And as I see that absolutely reflected in you, I see it expanding out and surrounding this world in a beautiful sparkle of love and healing and possibility. Can we know that together? Good. God bless you all. I love each and every one of you dearly. And so it is.